me ask you a question. What is the biggest threat to America? What is the biggest threat to the United States? What is the biggest threat to our freedom? Now, for a long time, and for most of my life, it was terrorists. I remember 9/11 very vividly. I remember coming home. I remember seeing the planes hit the World Trade Center. And even though that was a young age for me, I remember thinking the world has changed. And for the next several decades, we were fighting terrorists abroad. We were fighting Al-Qaeda. We were fighting ISIS. We were fighting terrorists all around the world. When it turns out, maybe, just maybe, we should have been more worried about the terrorists here in the United States.
There are mounting questions now over an alleged plot to overthrow Michigan's state government and kidnap the governor. 6 men connected with a right-wing group are charged with attempting to carry out an elaborate plan to kidnap Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer for what they called treason.
Yes, treason. And it's funny that in recent days, the lawyer for these guys has come out and been like, they were just joking around. They weren't. These are just a couple of morons, right? This isn't a plot. These are just a couple of idiots who got caught up in doing dumb things. Now, keep in mind, these guys met in a room under a trapdoor, apparently, in a house. They trained all summer. They had planned to recruit up to 200 men to storm the capital of Michigan. And they actually watched the governor's home. They staked out her home. And so these guys were serious. And apparently they were white militia members, as they typically are, right? And it's just, when really we should be calling them by another name. We should be calling them domestic terrorists, because that's what they really are. And a lot of these domestic terrorists think they're being patriotic. They talk about loving the Constitution, loving the Second Amendment. Well, they planned an actual rebellion against the country they claim to love, right? I always kind of think about, the world's changed a lot from the 1700s and 1776, the Declaration of Independence, the Battle for Independence, the American Revolution. And so sometimes I think it's kind of hilarious that these guys who claim to be patriots, they're fighting for America, they would have been the redcoats, man. I mean, they would not have been on American side. They would have said, when all the looting and rioting was happening, they would have complained about all the tea that got dumped into the harbor, right? So yeah, it's funny to me that these guys think they're being patriotic when they are literally trying to overthrow a democratically elected governor because they just don't like what she says. They don't like what she's doing, right? To protect them from the virus. I mean, this is also, masculinity or toxic masculinity at its finest and most dangerous. But really, it's not even, what they did scares me. I don't want to say that. What they did definitely scares me. But what scares me more is what officials are saying about it.
You can see William Null on stage alongside Barry County Sheriff Dar Leaf, a guest speaker at the event. We spoke with Sheriff Leaf Thursday night.
Well, I haven't read everything up on it. I've got other duties to do. It wasn't our investigation. So I was shocked. I did not see this coming with those guys, but still, we can't convict them in the news media here. They do have a right to a fair trial.
Leaf says he doesn't know of Null's alleged involvement in the plot and doesn't have any regrets about sharing a stage with him.
Do you have any regrets from being on stage, sharing a stage with a guy who's now being charged in a plot to kidnap the governor?
Well, it's just a charge, and they say a plot to kidnap. And you got to remember that, are they trying to kidnap? Because a lot of people are angry with the governor, and they want her arrested. So are they trying to arrest, or was it a kidnap attempt?
I mean, I just don't know where to go from there, right? Yes, they've been charged. They haven't been convicted yet, so presume they're innocent. What do I feel like if I got pulled over in that guy's county, that they wouldn't exactly presumed that I am innocent? I mean, seriously? Seriously? This is who is in charge of protecting the people, right? This is the sheriff. This isn't just some dumb cop. And he's not necessarily defending these guys, but he's not criticizing them either. He's not, I mean, they're literally planning to kidnap the governor. And he's justifying it there. He is saying, well, a lot of people are angry at the governor. And so what are you saying? That a mob should show up at her house where she has 2 teenage daughters, and they should arrest her, just take her away? And, you know, Governor Whitmer herself said exactly what probably would have happened to her.
It wasn't simply to kidnap, it was to put me on a trial of some sort and then possibly execute me. That's the kind of thing that you would expect to hear from a group like ISIS.
Expect to hear from a group like ISIS. That's where we are in 2020. And that's where we are for the foreseeable future. Because the FBI and many other organizations that, you know, kind of look out for America, right? They're trying to see what is our biggest threat. Names these domestic terrorists as a thing we need to worry about for, you know, as long as, you know, this is a thing we need to worry about for the future, foreseeable future. And if you think that, okay, this is an isolated incident, this is probably not something that's going to happen again, we'll take a look at what happened in my home state of Virginia. There was a plot there to kidnap the governor of Virginia. Now, this was earlier this year. A lot of people are angry about the governor of Virginia for what's happened during the lockdown orders and also what's been going on with gun legislation there. And so a militia wanted to take it in their hands to not only kidnap, the governors of Michigan, but also Virginia. This is a sign that this is something that is not going away. No matter if Trump wins, yeah, this is probably going to get worse. If Biden wins, this is probably also going to get worse. I mean, this is the biggest threat to the United States. And if you are American, if you are a patriot, you don't want armed militias running around and kidnapping democratically elected governors, right? We're supposed to live in a nation of laws. We're supposed to live in a nation of, you know, we Americans, they have, you know, they're very fierce about their politics. They're very fierce about what they believe in. And we have spirited debates, but you kind of lose that when you start talking about kidnapping people, holding a trial, and potentially executing them. It's not a democracy. I don't even know if you can consider that a dictatorship. That, my friends, is something else.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for watching Citizen Pete. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, click that little subscribe button, maybe the like button, and hey, maybe just leave a comment. You know, I want to know what you're thinking. What do you think about all the politics, the news, and all the stuff that's going on in our country?